Hey class, welcome. Today we're going to work on a couple of additional skills that you're using in your mini golf course holes. So the majority of the skills you've already learned. These are the two last ones. One is called Helix and the other is called linear patterns. So I'm going to create a new document to kind of walk you through each of those. First, we're going to start with the Helix. So the Helix button is hidden underneath plane. So over here, if you hit the drop down, about halfway down, you got Helix. You notice you can either have one that is based off a cylinder or a cone, one that's based off an axis, and one that's based off a circle. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna draw a circle and I'm gonna draw an axis or just a line to get this kind of going. So we're gonna sketch on the top line, got an axis here, a line, and I'm gonna draw a circle. Both those are good. We got a line, circle. So if I go over here, I go to Helix. If I choose the axis option, and then where my helix axis is, we'll go with here. Edge of sketch one. Input type, you got turns, you got pitch, turns and pitch. For this sake, we're just gonna do turns. Starts at 0. How far of a radius do we want? In this case, we're just gonna do 1-inch radius. In condition is gonna be height, so we're gonna make this 2 inches, so you see it made it a little bit bigger. How many revolutions or how many full spirals in that 2 inches? In this case, it's got 4. If I changed it to 8, you'd see it gets a little bit denser. If I do just 2, it makes it really loose. So that one's pretty simple. If I do another helix on that circle, let's bring back that sketch so you can see it. Circle. Circular edge. Click on the edge of the circle. Got the same options, turns, start angles, height. Again, let's make this one 4 inches. We got 4 revolutions, so basically it's 1 revolution per inch. 1, 2, 3, 4 times it comes out. If I made it 8, again, makes it denser. If I make it 2, it makes it a little bit more spaced out. So very similar styles. You'll notice the one thing that it does not do on the circle versus the axis is the radius. It's already getting that from the size of your circle. And then last but not least, we got the cylinder or the cone. So let's go ahead and turn this circle into a cylinder. We'll make it 6 inches tall just to make it nice and big. So now we've got a cylinder. If I go to that helix button again, click on the face. It says conical or cylindrical face is what is needed. Click on the outside of this cone. Does the exact same thing, but it wraps it around. This is the beginning of how you make like a screw or a bolt. You do this and then you sweep a triangle around it. I'll do another video that walks you through that. But that's essentially how you do that. Again, change the number of revolutions, makes it a little bit less dense or consolidated on the number of loops. Kind of looks like either the inside of like a biscuit container before you go ahead and throw those in the oven, or even a toilet paper roll. So there we go. That is helixes. Now we'll create another one for Part Studio. So there's actually two different linear patterns. These are sketch tools. So I'm gonna start by doing a linear one. I'm gonna do it on the top. So I'm gonna hide my fronts, my rights, my origins like I normally do. Sketch on the top, draw my triangle. My mouse kind of glitched on me, so we're just gonna make the shape work. We got a 4x4 triangle, 4x4 square. I'm gonna move my dimensions out. So first we got to make this into a 3D shape. So we're going to go 1/8 just to give us a little bit of a base. Got a thin little base there. Now I'm going to sketch on the front of that. I'm going to hide the top now. I no longer need that. We're going to go ahead and make like square buttons. Pretend like this is a calculator. So in this case, we're going to go 0.5 and we're going to go 0.33. I'm going to get out of the rectangle tool. I'm going to move my dimensions out a little bit. All right. So linear pattern is this button right here. As you can see, it starts with a little square and it makes more kind of evenly. So we're going to hit that button. We're going to tell it what we want to repeat. We'll click all 4 sides. You'll notice it now has another square here and another identical square here. It's also popped up a couple of dimensions. So we've got our 1 inch here, 3x, and 1x. So what these 3x and 1x is saying is we are repeating this square 3 times to the right. Currently, we're repeating the square only once, the original one, up and down. If we wanted to say make 5 left and right, or 5 to the right, you just change that number to a 5, and it does it. If we want to make it 5 tall, we can do that. But now you notice my squares or rectangles are now off the side of the board. You also notice now that I'm going up, it's giving me some dimensions here. So we always pay attention to where our dimension lines go. This is saying from the very bottom to the bottom of the next one is 1 inch. The shape is only 1/3 of an inch, but we've got an inch, so there's a pretty big gap. So if I change this to 2/3 of an inch, I can make it a little bit narrower. Now they fit up and down. Same thing here. This 1 inch gap is from the far left of the first square to the far left of the second square. Button's only 1/2 inch. So let's say I change this to 3/4 of an inch. Now they all fit. Now that I've got them all in, I can go ahead and I can press the green check mark. They're not doing anything yet, so they're just sketches, so they kind of are a little bit faint, but I can extrude them, do it as a new, click on the sketch, and make it kind of small because these are going to be buttons. We don't want them really sticking out super far. Oh, it didn't add, so now they're kind of just pegs, but they added it. If I want to do new, now it doesn't each as a separate part, which the buttons would be. And then I can just change them to all be the same color. I can then change the base to be a separate color, so edit appearance. Let's make that a gray. Now I got kind of a, if I wanted to then go put numbers and all the different signs for a calculator, kind of have the beginning of a Ohio State calculator, red buttons with a gray body of the calculator. I still need to put the screen and everything else there, but I'm on my way. So that's linear pattern. There's a variety of linear pattern called circular pattern. I'm going to show you that one real quick too. So I'm going to start by sketching on the top, sketch, top. In this case, I'm going to go with circle because we're doing circular patterns. Try this again. Let's go with a 5-inch circle. I'm going to close the circle out. We'll move my diameter just kind of out of the way. Again, got to turn it into a base to make it something. All right, now I'm going to hide my top, front, right. All right, so now to show you how the circular pattern works, I'm going to do a sketch on the top. I know what I'm going to make. We'll see if you can kind of figure it out before it's all said and done. Starting with the 3-point arc. And then I'm going to close it off with some lines. You know what? I don't like where that's at. I'm going to try it one more time. So I'm going to start with the 3-point arc. there. All right, so now I got my closed geometry. I'm going to go to the linear pattern button, but instead of clicking on that, I'm going to go to the drop down and I'm going to go with circular pattern. Again, just like linear, click on what I want to be repeated. I've got just a 3x here. You notice there's no dimensions. It's evenly spacing them about the center point. In this case, it happens to be the origin. For what I'm making, I want it to be repeated 4 times. So I'm going to go with 4, hit enter. And now my sketch is done. Now I'm going to extrude sketch 2. We'll make it new parts. And I'm going to go with 1/8 of an inch again. And that is circular pattern. I'm going to finish making what I started wanting to make here. I'm going to make this one red. Bottom one's already blue. I'm not sure the order these colors go in, but I think as long as I get the 4 colors in, it might be a little obvious to you what it is I'm making here. So I like doing the black a little transparent just to make it a little easier to see any sort of features that I've got going on here. 1/3 of an inch, that works. And round off that bottom edge as well, 1/3 of an inch. And there you go. That's the object I was going for. Not sure if you recognize it, but it's a handheld game called Simon, where the different sides all light up. So essentially, that's how you would make a Simon game. Maybe you're doing, for our mini golf, you're making a board game. You want to add this as kind of an object in the background, have at it. So there you go. Showed you Helix, I showed you linear pattern and circular pattern. For the project, you can use either one. Basically, I'm just trying to make sure you understand the linear and circular pattern functions that allow you to repeat a shape either in a line or around a central point. So if you have any questions, come see me, drop me a comment, send me an email. Otherwise, I will see you in class, and thanks for watching.